back, the sides.
Lombard diesel, circa 1934.
The only diesel he ever built, because he died, like I told you moments ago, in '34. But he was trying to upgrade to the diesel for pulling, horsepower and all that.
R.S. Whitney, Brunswick, 1902.
This is vehicle number 2, a Lombard Whitney leaning on the dash. This is a tiller drive. You see the tiller handle sticking straight up in the front seat? That would lay across your lap. There's an elbow just to above the seat. Right in there's a little elbow, so that can lay down in your seat. You push it to go right, and pull it to go left. It's an experience to drive a tiller.
R.S. Whitney, 1903.
This is his third vehicle. The first all-steel body and frame automobile built in Maine. He applied for several patents. One of anti-knock, to eliminate carbon from the engine, and there's one of his pieces right here. This is a water humidifier to inject water into your intake manifold to keep the carbon down in the engine.
The American Automobile Company, Augusta, 1899.
Nancy, can you point out that joystick? Behind the right light on the other is a handle just to the rear of the light. That is what you grip with a single hand to steer that vehicle with. But look at the beauty of it, like that to some of the others that we've seen previously. The lines are graceful, sweet.
Can't get it.
Well, you can't get it, you can't get it. This is new equipment we just got yesterday, so we're in training.
This is Automobile Company of Augusta, again, 1899.
Look at the spoon brake on the rear wheel. Inadequate braking in mud and horse manure. Now, here we go to the smooth tires. The tread wasn't invented until just previous to World War I. So anytime you didn't have dry pavement, you had to wrap rope around, chains, something to get your traction. And this also has a joystick steering up front here. Right up in there.
Automobile Company of America, Augusta, again, 1899.
This is a French design, but believed to be, said to be lighter than the Didion, which is a very famous tricycle of the French design, weighing only 160 pounds. Of course, that tricycle, go back to that for a second, everybody was trying to get that personal vehicle to go to work, go to school, keep the costs down and like that.
William Chapman, Portland, 1899.
Constructed on the principle of 2 bicycle frames with a body and seat hung between it. This is an electric. We made 3 of them, 3 different styles. And it was built in the Belknap factory in Portland.
Chapman for 1899 to 1903.
Chapman is seated with his right hand on the speed control and his left hand on the tiller. There again, it's still the principle of 2 bicycle frames, and this is the second electric.
Rand and Harvey Lewiston, 1900.
Made several vehicles, including one for a lady doctor in town, on the cover of the book that I mentioned earlier. Had a gasoline burner and the vent steam. His shop was on Chapel Street. And that little building out back there in Chapel Street Annex was his shop.
This is an article from the Lewiston Sun Journal in 1899 talking about the car. He says, the journal was promised the first ride and got it. It was a sort of dream, yes, mostly dream. We went out on the college road going slowly and gently as the teams of Lewiston, driven by Horses that were not used to automobiles were everywhere in the way, and Mr. Harvey did not want to kill anyone on the first trip. We went up by the colleges at a slow rate of speed, and we gently began to think that perhaps it would not go any faster than that, and resolved to say nothing that would hurt the sensibilities of the inventor. But as we gained the open country, and out before us spread the long, straight street to the fairgrounds and to green beyond, we began to realize that the carriage was going faster and faster, and at last fairly flew. The ground went by under our big round wheels like the race of swift water from a mill wheel. To keep our place in the face of the heavy wind that was blowing, it was necessary to hold on tight.
It is so flowery. We took the sections right out of the Lewiston paper, antique automobile magazines that was printed at the time. We kept everything in the first person because we just noticed the flowery writing. For us to come along and rewrite that, they went out College Street. What else would you say? And they increased speed. You know, you couldn't you couldn't improve on that. You couldn't even duplicate it in your own words. I can't anyway. You know, that is beauty.
J.W. Skeen, Lewiston, 1899.
In March of 1900, Skeen was said to be complete in one of 20 vehicles. Number 13 survives and is in Massachusetts. Believed the engine was made by J.W. Penny Mechanic Falls. His shop was near the river at the foot of Cross Street. Later he moved onto 123 Lisbon Street.
And there's an article here from the Bangor Daily News in September 1900. Lawyer C.W. Hussey delights in showing his automobile to the country people, and so has been taking in most of the country fairs of late. Yesterday he went out to Windsor and attended what is known in the central part of the state as the World's Fair. Of course he was asked to exhibit his machine at the track, and he did just that. When the dust cleared away from the track, there was a wreck like the like of which the people out here had never seen before. The accident was due to the fact that Mr. Hussey attempted to show his machine while the book trash brusher was at work. The horses attached to the brusher became frightened of the machine and turning, smashed into it, removing spokes, gearing, and springing the axles in a bad way. There is a question in Mr. Hussey's mind whether he is having the most experience riding or repairing his machine, as it is nearly all the time in the hands of the blacksmith.
We believe that is the one that's in Massachusetts. It's been restored. When they found it, it was in pieces. And it's been restored, and it runs, but he still hasn't got it all perfected. And, well, he hadn't, and he just passed away last year. Now his son has it, and his son's in motorcycles, and it sits in the back corner of the garage. But we're trying to get it back to Maine and Lewiston, Auburn area. That's one of the things we're trying to do.
This is a steam engine believed to have been built by J.W. Penny Mechanic Falls, who also built the first production engines for the Stanley Brothers. Boston Automobile Company, Eden, Maine, 1900-1901.
Notice a canopy top with a fringe around. This is a steam vehicle. But
United States Motor Carriage, Andover, Rumford Falls, 1899 to 1901.
Tom Fraser had several automobile patents. One was for a water tube boiler, and another was for the automobile frame. His frame patent application stated that the car could go over a rock or in a hole 18 inches in size, and the passengers and the body would stay level. 18 inches.
Charles Monroe, Belfast, and Searsport, 1900.
He had several patents on steam automobiles and also sold them to other companies.
Frank Reynolds, Lewiston, 1900.
He had several patents pertaining to steam automobiles, such as the burner and feed for the burner. He sold them to another company in New York.
E.T. Burroughs, Portland, 1909.
There's quite a story with this one here. I located it, and then I heard the Maine State Museum was looking for a Maine-built automobile. So I told them about it. They went down and acquired the car, made the arrangements. He delivered it to the Portsmouth Bridge, drove it across the bridge, and the Maine State Museum took delivery.